regardless of faith or value. Many of us can predict the future of nearby based on no less or no more than what and who is nearby. The more objective you are, the better you can put it together. The more emotional you are, the better you can feel what's coming. If you decide to know what the future may look like, or your future may look like, you may have to start by gathering information about your family's history. Just like a doctor who is diagnosing your illness, he needs to know your family's history. You may ask yourself, am I getting away with murder, or am I being rewarded for what I have done? Am I paying for what I get on a regular basis, or is it a big tragedy that is awaiting for me to be the guinea pig of life? To know what the future may look like, you need to know whether you have guilty feelings out of your own conscience, or only the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat is what you are experiencing as a response to an outcome. You need to know about yourself and all others around you. And you need to know a little bit about the philosophy of life. I like to focus on the future of the Western democracies for now. That's based on logic, history, and religion. Western democracy's backbone is the law of the individual rights. Such rights that can speak for itself, much like Hitler did. He spoke for his rights when he claimed to be the third right after capitalism and communism. In few words, the individual rights are or is actually inflating and floating the spines and the genes of your backbones in a sea of emotions. One must not fool himself by not thinking that religion and the Middle East crisis have little to do with the future of the Western democracies. In fact, religion in the Middle East is the match that God is using to strike the wood once it's dry enough to be burned. God chose the Jews to make major changes in the world. We are all chosen tools and mechanical parts in the engine of life. Some of us are more important than others. The Jews were allowed to suffer. For many of them will have to end up strongly believing in Judaism, for it is to last until a time to come where a born-again need is born again indeed. Like always, all the Jews will be blamed for everything. The Jews in the United States will be blamed for many things, including the war in Iraq. Well, I do predict that they will find out who killed John and Robert Kennedy and why on some of the secret tapes that were recorded by some American officials. Such tapes that were taped and not to be released till after a peace treaty is signed in the Middle East.